guys, this is A Slice of Life. My name's Brian.
And I'm Devin.
And pretty much what we do on this channel is talk.
Yeah. But before we get into it, we really kind of want to give an introduction. Granted, we do have an introduction video that should be out or is coming out very shortly. We still have yet to record it. We've been very busy lately, but we really wanted to start this up sooner rather than later. But we figure that's going to go up on both of our channels, A Slice of Gaming and A Slice of Life. So in each of our first videos on those channels, we're going to kind of get more in depth as to what these channels are actually about. In terms of A Slice of Life, it's going to be a little more of a sort of
thought-provoking channel.
Yeah, like a thought-provoking channel. Just something where hopefully we can make you think
and get you and your friends talking.
Yeah, that's exactly it, because that's what we like to do in our friend group. We like to get people talking about something a little more abstract than we usually would talk about.
And we're gonna completely skip over politics and other things.
Nothing. We're not gonna debate. This isn't a debate. This is just talking. This is just two guys having a conversation and hoping that people like what we're talking about in general. As well as that, we're gonna kind of try and keep our conversations outside. We're gonna try and keep it with nature. This isn't really going to be a vlogging channel, or at least we don't think it will be. If it ends up becoming that, well, don't quote me on this.
So be it.
Yeah, so be it. But for now, it's really just going to be us finding a nice spot somewhere, sitting down, and talking about a topic that we both are interested in. So, I mean, without further ado, today's topic is really, as you can see in the title of the video, if you could change one thing about the world, what would that be? And we both talked about this before we started the video, and very quickly we almost had the same answer at the same time, which was funny. So I'll let you take it away from here, since you were really the first one to kind of say what we were both thinking.
So what we both came to a conclusion with was we both wanted more positive energy with people. We've noticed that in our environment and what we've witnessed, that everyone pretty much is really just in their own head and they're really worried with making connections with other people.
But like when you do, or when other people do, not you specifically, hopefully you're not into this, but the connections people make nowadays, they're typically very hateful
and negative,
just very anger driven, you know. And I don't really want to get into politics, but you could especially see it with this last election. You know, for example, people, just because you have differing political views, it doesn't mean you have to hate each other. Like, for example, him and I have completely different political views. Very opposite, aside from a few key points. But in general,
our message is the same.
Our message is the same, you know. We just want people to be happy, you know. Granted, there are different ways of going about people being happy, but again, we could probably save that for another video. This one's about positivity. So for example, the other day, a friend of mine, she was driving her car, and the guy in front of her had stopped short because he realized a red light had happened. You know, honestly, it happens. It happens to the best of us. And so she stopped short, the person behind her stopped short, and, you know, luckily no one got into an accident. But the thing here is after that had happened, she kept honking her horn. Granted, again, within her right to do so. She was angry. I would probably be angry too. I'm not going to act like I'm innocent. I have probably some of the worst road rage out there.
And the thing is, when stuff like that happens, when you do one negative thing, negative outcomes keep perpetuating from that.
It only breeds more negativity. So in this example, and this is a real story by the way, in this example, after she kept honking, what had happened was the man got out of his car. I'm not going to say he was in the wrong, because nobody knows what he was going through that day. You know, someone in his family could have died. But at the same time, I'm not going to say he was in the right, because what he proceeded to do next was absolutely terrifying for my friend. He got out of his car. The man, he was driving a truck, I think. Not like it matters. But he got out of his car and started yelling at my friend. This man, 45 years old apparently, around that age, starts yelling at my friend. My friend would not roll down her window, and neither would I have, you know? That's terrifying. But rather than just like walking off, the man punched her window, nearly breaking it. That's terrifying, you know? And the fact is, like, granted, this has been happening for years. Negativity has been happening for years. But the fact that people can get so angry so quickly over such tiny things is terrifying to me.
My whole thing is that when you get mad, you should take a second before the outcome to breathe and overthink everything before you make a decision. Because that decision leads to more bad decisions, which in turn is just a vicious circle.
Yeah, exactly that. When you are, like, rude or just mean to someone, 90% of the time, that person's going to throw it right back at your face. And again, this is evident with this last election. That's actually part of the reason why I assume we both had the same answer on this topic. Because with this last election, you can see it on Facebook, you can see it on Instagram, you can see it on Twitter. If someone has a differing opinion to you, people send death threats.
Yeah.
People find your address. People do crazy, crazy things just to, what? You know, you're not proving your point.
And that's insane to me, because in situations like that, when you're just arguing with someone else, you don't gain anything from that.
And yeah, I completely agree with that. You don't gain any knowledge. And that's kind of one thing that I really respect about my counterpart here, Brian, is the fact that whenever he's presented with facts, like legitimate facts, he can change how he feels about something because of those facts. Granted, me, I'm a little more stubborn. I'll be honest.
But you're definitely getting better at it, and fucking A.
Whatever.
You're definitely getting better at it.
And that's because you realized over time that if you controlled your anger,
and you're definitely getting better at it. And that's from realizing over time that when you control your anger, you control the outcome of whatever position you're in. So, and definitely, whenever you're in a bad position, take a second to think. And that's really, I think, the conclusion.
And that's a good way to end it off. That a good way to spread positivity, in fact, maybe even the best way to spread positivity, isn't to be overly positive, but rather to control your anger and control your malice. But that's all for today, guys. I'm Devin.
I'm Brian, and we hope you got something from this video.
Have a nice day.